This movie gonna be good? I don't know. I think it should be good. I hope Brie Larson delivers in every way possible. Aight. What do you think it's going to be before we get started?
I got a little overdrawn in the checking account, so.
What do you think?
Just
91.
91? That high?
So.
What do you think before we get started? You think it's going to be good?
No.
Joffrey died, so I'm super excited.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I'll catch up. Peace.
8 less hours to prepare a Diet Coke strawberry guava canned breakfast.
Yeah, no thank you. You know how much you'll pay me to see that motherfucking piece of shit? I'll see this shit. I can't believe Eminem song for that. That's wild.
Eminem's a big comic book fan.
They better have Philadelphia accents if they're gonna make them in Philly.
Thank you, Spider-Man.
What just happened?
Is that? All right, we just saw. Is it? Are you recording?
Yeah.
How's my hair? How's my
Does
hair?
everyone know what you're doing?
Box, thanks for coming, man. Did you like it?
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Oh, good.
So just okay?
Yeah, I got to be pumped for next month. Avengers Endgame, man. Oh.
Have a good night, man.
All right, you good?
Yeah, it's recording.
April 28th.
All right, we just saw Captain Marvel, and it was good.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
You always go last. Go
Set it
first.
up.
Well, okay.
All right, we got the three amigos here.
So, for me,
Muscatel.
like, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be worse than it was. I thought it was really good. I had no major issues with it. You know, there were some logic things that didn't make sense to me. You know, like these aliens have like laser blasters and go light speed, but they're like freaked out by bullets. A little bit of bullshit. Little humans can fuck with the Kree all of a sudden. I don't know why that is. I mean, it doesn't make any logical sense. I thought there was some mostly great acting, but there was this side character, her friend. Like they had this interaction. I thought it was bad writing or bad acting or both. Also, that particular character makes a decision to like go on a mission. I thought was insane. Like you have a daughter. Like it doesn't make any sense that you would go and like risk your life for this. But it had to because it's a movie. So like those are like problems, but they really didn't bother me all that much. I just sort of went along for the ride. And like, I guess my only thing is like, is it memorable? I mean, there's a couple cool sequences in the movie, like girl power stuff that I thought was cool. And sort of like this, when she's interacting with the artificial intelligence, I like those moments. There's like sort of otherworldly moments that Marvel's been putting into their movies lately, so I like that. But yeah, my only thing is like perfect entertainment, but is it memorable? Will it like be something like, oh, I got to see that again, or people should definitely go see that? I don't know if it was that for me. So I give it like an 85. So that's what I got.
That's a great score.
Yeah.
For you, that's
Yeah.
really high.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go. You want to go? Or you want to be led?
I can go. I can go.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
All right. All right.
Get close to the mic. You know, there's a
Fair
microphone
enough.
right there,
Right.
right?
Sure.
All right.
Yes. I've never been in one of your videos before, so you need to explain this to me.
Well, you're standing back here.
Okay. So, anyways, I thought it was very good. I was also pleasantly surprised because the reviews I've been reading have been kind of middling, and I thought it was a perfectly delightful piece of entertainment. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has never disappointed me truly. At worst, I've just liked that. The worst movie I liked. And this was great. It was fun. Not my favorite MCU movie ever, but it's still really, really good. Brie Larson is super charming in it and has really good chemistry with Samuel L. Jackson. He is old hat at this. He's been playing Nick Fury forever, but he's great. The little callbacks to the greater universe are well done, well placed, and not distracting. And I thought that it didn't hit you over the head. While being a good movie for women, I didn't feel like it hit you over the head with female empowerment. I thought it was elegant and natural and well weaved into the story. I really liked it. And I would give it an 85. I thought it was a really good flick.
The cat was awesome.
Yes, Goose, really fun.
I'm going to start off with a 91.
You're gonna. What you just like?
That's the score, because this is the ultimate dropping of the hammer in the Marvel universe.
Oh, her?
Yeah,
Her?
she,
The hammer drop.
the hammer dropped hard, and I enjoyed that. I knew you'd have some issues with some stuff, but I don't care. I thought it was great. It was enjoyable. It was a great ride, and it ended great. And the post-credit scenes were great. And I'm just fired up for the next one.
Avengers Endgame.
Was Nick Fury too silly for you?
Well, you know, without spoiling it, I mean, this was Nick before he was Nick. You know, they called him Fury.
It's not really a spoiler to say this is set in the past. It's set in the mid-90s.
Yeah, so you see him like when he first realizes, when he first encounters Thor and all the other Avengers, he doesn't seem amazed like everybody else. And I always thought to myself, why isn't this guy phased like everybody else is phased? And now I see, because he was phased 20 years before everybody else even showed up. So when he saw these guys, he's like, already been there, done that. So there was a lot of fan service in there I enjoyed. But the best part was the dropping of the hammer at the end.
The denouement was word for you.
It did.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, I liked it better than Wonder Woman
Oh,
because I
did too.
really, really loved Wonder Woman when it came out because, females are great. But I don't know, like Jack said, it wasn't so like, oh my God, this is a woman, she's fighting. It was like, yeah, it is a woman. She is fighting and she's doing an amazing job at it. I thought it was great. I love the soundtrack, of course, no doubt being in there. I was like,
yeah, it was
So-
awesome. Yeah, all right.
so that
Love
was
the
wonderful.
soundtrack.
And yeah, I really don't have anything negative to say about it.
100. What do you give it?
Don't go chasing waterfalls and stuff.
95.
Oh, what about the girl stuff? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Where they do like a little montage.
The her playing baseball.
Oh yeah, I really liked that. I really enjoyed that.
It was
'Cause it was
cool.
like,
So good.
yeah, I don't know, it was just great.
Nothing you didn't like.
Not that I can think of right now. I'm sure maybe later I might think of something.
You didn't
but-
think it was crazy how like they used bullets and the other people had like alien technology and it was like, all right, even Steven.
I didn't
The
think it was
humans
even.
didn't really hang with the Kree.
And the humans were like, all right, I'm gonna do karate. And
Nick Fury and the pilot got beat up by the Kree.
then like the other thing that's like corny is like that the Kree like use like swords and shit. Like why would you use swords when you can just like all have like super dope
Comics, man. It's
super-
cool to have
super
laser
dope
swords.
You could take it super literally, you can.
Oh,
But
here we go. Here we go.
it is a comic, it is a story. If you wanted to have it all like, I don't know, why at the end, why didn't she kill them all the Kree right
Come
there?
on, why didn't she do it?
Just because it's a story. Without that, where would she go next?
Yeah, but I don't like.
She's a hero. She's not
Yeah, I
going
don't
to kill
like
everybody. She
No more
says
killing.
she'll kill enough to send a message to say, hey, don't mess with me, I'll mess you up. And then
Right.
Yeah.
Because there is a subtle message in all these movies, like it's okay to kill if like it's bad enough. And I'm not like you should probably never kill if possible, right? I mean,
I almost said a spoiler.
but even
yeah.
like punch people in the face, like, it's alright to punch somebody in the face if they're a bad person. Like, alright, well then who's the bad person, really? I mean, like if you're like
Are we
somebody
going
that
to deconstruct comic book theater
Yeah.
at
It
this
is a
point?
comic book.
Alright.
Well, a lot was said and a lot was covered, and I have to agree with everybody. All the bases were covered. I was really taken with the movie. It went really quick. I don't know as much about the background of the story, but I enjoyed how it unraveled, and it was great. I give it a 95. I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
So it works on the women. It works on that woman
yeah, I
level.
like to see her in a powerful role.
Yeah.
I love how non-matter of fact it was. It was like, yeah, she's a chick, but that's
Yeah,
not the
she
point.
did really well with it. She really pulled it off well. I thought they picked a good person.
There was.
So,
What about the predictability of it all? Did that bother you?
It's the nature of the format.
Nature of the format.
It wasn't entirely predictable. The arc was predictable, but the story
The way-
wasn't.
Further away from the camera, the louder you must speak. Do you know
The
that?
way,
In the
okay,
corner. You're in the
sure,
corner.
sure. So, I would say that while it followed the conventional structure of superhero storytelling,
Right.
I would say it told it in a not necessarily conventional manner.
There's definitely a twist in this.
Yeah.
And that twist worked for me. But there is like, I mean, I was like calling things out that were gonna happen. Like, oh, homie's about to get shot.
But I didn't mind that.
And then at the end, I'm like, oh, that thing's
This isn't
and
Pulp
it starts
Fiction.
out in
This
the
is-
middle of things.
this
a
is-
little bit of Pulp
Why is
Fiction.
it not Pulp Fiction?
Because it's a comic. It's I mean, there's the story is already out there. They're just kind of massaging it for the movies that they're.
I would argue
And I wanna say that
story-wise,
Brie
they
Larson
kind
was
of play
sensational.
with the structure. They start in medias res, in the middle of things, you know?
Do we need to do spoilers on this?
oh, and Goose.
Goose, the cat.
The cat's
the
great.
cat was a little pleasant surprise in the story. It was very
fun.
cute. And quite
I didn't read the comics because that was a complete surprise to me. I didn't know anything about the cat. As far as I knew, the cat was a cat. I thought it might
I
be a
wish
scroll.
Joe would say something because Joe hadn't seen all the Marvel stuff.
You guys are putting me to work with this camera. I think you all need to stay together and nice and tight.
You don't have to give
Leave
us
the
all.
man
Do we need
alone.
to do
He was
spoilers?
nice
Do we
enough.
do spoilers? or
Sure,
not?
why not?
Spoiler section? I mean, is there anything else you want to say about this?
I've reevaluated 90 out of 100. I'm swayed by the crowd, man. I really like this
All
movie.
right, so now we got now the spoilers. So, okay, so what? Anything like anything?
I felt
Anthony?
like, wow, she's supposed to be super powerful, and she's getting knocked around by these other Kree like they're nothing. Yanrog's kicking her butt.
Who's Yanrog?
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
And I don't blame you for not knowing that, because they never say his name in the movie. I know it from the promotional material that his name is Yanrog. Yanrog is a classic Captain Marvel villain from the comics back when he was a blonde Kree
What
guy.
about this little convention of like the control thing in her neck?
They used the same thing on Thor.
It was different, but the idea was that they were suppressing her abilities.
It was same. It was samey.
It was just the same
You
thing.
knew it was gonna come off. The dad gets shot. The dad scroll. You know. By the way, so the twist is, so spoiler. The twist is that the Skrull are not actually the bad guys. So all the promotional material is the Skrull are the bad guys. It's actually the Kree are the bad guys. The twist really worked for me. I thought it was good. Although when the twist happens, now what I look for in a villain thing is like, are they giving the villain good motivation to be a villain? Like, do we understand why this guy's a villain? So when they do the switch, I'm like, oh, this is dope. Because like I got the scroll. Like I know who the scroll is and I know why he's doing what he's doing. But then we go to Jude Law's character, and I'm like, why is he doing what he's doing? He's just following orders.
They wanted the Tesseract. It was all about the Tesseract.
They wanted the Tesseract so that they could.
They just left it that they're kind of blood hungry and wanted to
They're a
expand.
warmongering species. Our previous exposure to the Kree was in Guardians of the Galaxy with Ronan and Korath, who you see again in this. Who's the black guy, Digimon Hunsu.
Oh, yeah.
He's the same guy in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that's Korath the Pursuer. He's a Marvel Comics villain. He's a Kree, and he is in both this. He's killed by Drax in the fight. Drax rips the cyborg thing out of the side of his head.
So you guys didn't even remember that.
I knew that.
Listen,
You're
my level of MCU knowledge.
You're nerd
Ben,
card.
No, I knew that.
You knew it?
I remember him. Yeah.
You remember he got ripped
He's
the
the
thing
one
out
who
the thing with the
says
thing?
Star-Lord, man. Ooh, that's
Right.
the guy. That's the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. Okay, whatever.
And you remember
So
Ronan.
the Stan Lee thing? When,
Oh
when
my God, I wanted to cry.
Reading the Mallrats? Well, the intro Stan Lee thing and then the Stan Lee reading Mallrats. That was pretty cool.
So
So
Stan
Kevin
Lee-
Smith exists in the Marvel Universe now.
Marvel Cinematic. I
would
can't
they-
wait to
why would
hear
they-
Kevin's take
He
on
already
it.
posted on Instagram crying.
So in 1995, he did Mallrats. Stan Lee was literally in the movie, so it's so cool they showed it because literally, this is the first appearance of actual Stan Lee. Because that is actually Stan Lee reading the actual script for Mallrats, getting ready for his performance.
So that was cool. That was
So
really
he wasn't playing.
He
wasn't
This
playing
is the
some
first time he's
security
actually
guard,
playing himself.
Right.
I guess. I mean, theoretically, in Guardians 2, they kind of reveal him to be a watcher. So I don't know. Maybe Stan Lee is a watcher.
Does it look better on Jake?
Everything looks better on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we can just get him from up here.
Hey.
So, but there's so much, and when they revealed it to be the Tesseract, I was like, oh my God, that looks just like it is the Tesseract.
Which was a cool piece.
Oh, I love that.
I love how they weaved it in. It's,
Because the Tesseract's been pretty much the guiding MacGuffin from the beginning of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, not really in Iron Man, but in Captain America: The First Avenger, it makes its first appearance, which by timeline is the earliest.
Wasn't it in the post-credit? Captain?
No, it's a
Iron
primary
Man?
plot
How's it
piece
going over there?
in.
You're hurting?
I'm trying to figure out what a MacGuffin is.
A MacGuffin is a what's it in it's a thing that the characters are out to get, that it doesn't matter what it is. It's this big thing that the villains are trying to get and the heroes are trying to stop them from getting. It's just one of those storyline things that happens that you often see particularly in heroic fiction. So that's a MacGuffin. It doesn't matter what it does. I mean, the MacGuffins in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are a little more important because what they do is thematically.
It drives the whole plot.
Exactly.
So she dropped the hammer.
She did. Blew up the ship.
I like at the end when she first was gaining her power and she was breaking away from
the Kree.
What do they call them?
The Supreme Intelligence.
The Supreme Intelligence. She started to realize her power, and then and then you can see her power expanding second by second. She grabs the one warhead and turns it around, and then she's like, "Oh shit, I can do that. I can do that." And then she just destroys a ship, and then she's just.
Now,
She's
power's
also
like expanding
absorbing
as the battle
energy.
is going.
She absorbs the energy of power sources.
I'm glad they explained that in the movie.
They do not at all.
No, it just occurred to me like she was just like learning her power, and it just kept getting more and more and
But
more.
it didn't bother you that there's explosions in space. There'd be no explosions in space.
Yeah.
Those missiles probably wouldn't make.
They were in
make
atmosphere
explosions.
when they exploded. They were.
Well, there would be explosions if there's oxygen.
They
Why
were
would
in
it be
the
oxygen?
They were in the atmosphere.
Well, I don't know about the missiles, but the ship, I mean, was theoretically full of oxygen when it blew up.
Also true.
But,
They breathe oxygen. Yeah.
And then she just had like a spacesuit on all the time. Like,
Well, I guess part of the time, but then at the end we see she realized she doesn't even
And
need
then
spacesuit.
when there's
Yeah.
like a blowout, like does it like all get pushed out? Like is that how space works?
I don't know the science of space
you all
explosions,
know.
but
It's
According to
considered.
Joe, we've never been.
she
to
dropped the hammer. So the way that they did it,
We've mentioned
given
no
to kind
surnames, Joe.
You know, the other thing you didn't challenge that
What?
she could absorb the power of the Tesseract. Like, how would a human be able to do that?
Yeah, like, oh, she's at an explosion and all of a sudden she's infused with the thing.
Yeah.
Outside of fact, no, we've
they got a
established
better story. In the
How
comic.
about this?
the
The
Cremagatron gives her
Tesseract is
powers.
actually not a real thing either.
The what?
The Tesseract is not
Well,
a
it's
real
the
thing
space
either.
stone.
Yeah, I know. It's made up though.
Well, it's all made up.
What are you
there.
talking about? Like,
I'm saying if you could make up a space stone, you could make up the powers. And then you could make up how the powers
in
manifest.
universe,
the ship
in
blowing up, giving her powers is stupid, right?
In universe,
Yes, that's what happened. I don't.
And then
they-
like the total transfusion, that's why she had green blood in the beginning.
no, the
No.
green blood. They gave her that,
Yeah, they put that in.
Yanrog
that
put
in.
his blood in her body.
and then at the end
That's
he
why.
took it out.
He did take it out?
Yeah,
He took his blood out.
he took. Well, he did the thing, and then all this green stuff came out of her and into his arm.
No, you don't know what you're talking about.
I saw it.
He didn't take.
I don't know that he took the
Anyway,
green
this-
blood. He gave. They,
No one
they,
wants to
they,
listen to
estab-
this, I
they
don't
establish they establish in the movie that he gives her a
anyone wanna
blood
listen to
transfusion. Okay, and they establish
Write
in
on the
universe
comments if you wanna
that
listen to
the Infinity Stones can infuse human beings with superpowers. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver get their superpowers from the Mind Stone.
Okay.
They have already
Yeah,
established
but
that
that
in
was
universe.
not the Tesseract. That was an engine created from the Tesseract.
Exactly.
That
It was
not
the
what stone is that, by the way?
the Space Stone.
So it wasn't actually the space stone. It was an engine created from.
That powered the engine. The Space Stone was what
It
powered
wasn't
the
even
engine.
there.
It doesn't need to be. All the Hydra weapons in Captain America: The First Avenger were powered by the Tesseract without actually being physically in the thing.
Dude, you're-
They have a link to. I'm just telling you what it says in
and,
universe.
And naked celebrities. You're like I
Oh,
can't
I'm way
even
better at
remember-
this than I am at naked celebrities.
This
I'm not Mr. Skin, but I
this
know
is
my
fantastic.
MCU stuff. I know my Marvel comics. I know my Marvel Cinematic Universe.
How about that part at the end when she dropped the hammer and she was just
Will
like
you shut
blowing
up
people
about blocking the hammer? You like to blow.
Well, listen.
What are you, like a violent person? You
Listen,
like violence?
No, I'm not a violent person, but I enjoy violence being
It
expressed.
doesn't matter about
in
cinematic
entertainment.
depictions of violence. That doesn't mean we actually approve of real life violence. It's just enjoyable. It's
You don't have to get over it in a comic movie. I mean, there's violence.
people
I
die.
liked how they
Of
teased
course.
us with the Samuel Jackson, like you always thought he was going to lose the eye at some point. You're like, wait, when is he going to lose the eye?
And they lose it from a cat.
From
From the cat, Goose scratches his eye.
Yeah.
Who's actually a
Nice.
secret alien thing, but he was effectively
You
just
shouldn't
a
have that
cat.
on your lap.
Also,
That-
he does have his eye.
What do you mean?
Well, he kept his eye
How do you know he kept it up?
because they showed it in Winter Soldier.
What?
In Winter Soldier, he needed to
Is this
use his eye to open doors and the whole thing. And they took his coat out and
Oh,
he
you
goes
keep the eye, but the
and he
eye-
flipped it up and he said, "You got to keep both eyes open because they can use the retina on this side." They showed it on film.
But it was a dead eye or something.
dead eye.
Yeah, because he wears an
He
eyeball.
didn't say that.
He definitely doesn't have use of both eyes.
All right, whatever. This
I haven't
is-
watched Winter Soldier in a while. I kind of feel like I should do. I was thinking I
Yo,
probably should do
how
a
bad was
rewatch.
the acting on that? The chick, what's her name? Rambo.
Maria Rambo.
Oh, that
was
scene.
okay.
Where have you been?
Well,
Now you
I-
have Alexa's
I was
name.
like overacting. Oh, it was like she was
She was
emoting too
okay.
much.
Well, now, was that the
Less
dialogue?
is more.
The dialogue was bad.
No, less is more.
No,
She
the
was-
dialogue was bad,
she was-
too.
I
she
love
was
that.
overdoing
I
it.
What about-
love
there was-
Monica
there was-
Rambo though. By the way, the original female Captain Marvel is not Carol Danvers. It is Monica Rambo.
There were other moments.
Black Lady was first
There
female
were,
Captain
there were
Marvel.
other moments of bad dialogue, though.
Yeah, there were, and I saw
Yeah.
that, and then I said, Ian's not gonna like this, but I don't care because I'm having fun.
But by the way, talking about spoilers, I noticed something. I mentioned it to both these guys. I want to have it on the video. Little thing that bothered me, and it's stupid, but they call her Veers because on her name tag, all that's left of her name is VERS. On her name tag, on her dog tags, they find the dog tags. However, the uniform she was wearing had her full goddamn name on it. It had Carol Danvers across her chest. I realize that's not a really super Cree name, but it's not like they didn't know her name was Carol Danvers. And like, okay.
Spoiler.
Well, we were in the spoiler section.
You're a spoiler. All right, that's it. Peace and love. Thanks
Peace
for watching.
and love.
Yeah, I know how cameras work. Derek, you're the best in this picture.
And you're a Cree, a race of noble warriors.
Heroes. Noble warrior heroes.